talks no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Well, hello, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Hey, Michelle. Good timing.
I know.
Right in there.
Perfect timing.
Missy! Hi, honey. I miss you.
Yay!
Hi, No Way. Hi, Connie. Hi, Shark Sister. Merp.
Just so
Hi,
y'all know,
Anna.
I just told Teresa a fantastic joke, but you'll have to hit me up in a
it
DM.
was not that good, but it was good.
You'll have to hit me up in a private message for it.
Yeah. Hi, Anna. Okay, you're gonna be in and out. Okay. Hi, Tia. Twisted Gemini.
Hey, Nana.
Hi, allegedly.
Oh,
Mrs.
hi,
Joe, look at
allegedly.
you, your membership. Hi, Tamara. Hi, Allison. BG. Sunset Gazing. Hi, Sherry.
Allegedly, and I have been bonding in other chats about Michelle.
You guys are bonding about Michelle?
Allegedly, so sweet. He really, really, really.
I hype Michelle up everywhere I go.
He really does. I love him.
Hi, RJ. Hi, Dolly. Oh, man. Hi, Rainbow Mom. Okay, so I wanted to get on a little early. So obviously, if you guys don't know, that today they're doing a press conference on Michael Vaughan. And if you guys remember, they were digging in the backyard of the Wandras just a couple weeks ago. They quit last week and scheduled a press conference for today to go over apparently either what they found, what they didn't find. We don't really know what's going to happen during the press conference. It could be, I doubt it would be like I doubt it would be lack of information, because he doesn't give lack of Huff, the chief there does not give lack of information. So I'm assuming he's going to say something that has some relevance. Now, do we know that they found something? Do we think they didn't find anything?
It's been like a couple weeks between the end of the search and today, hasn't it? Like a week or two?
We could no, but I would say a little over a week. My dates are a little messed up, but it's been a little over a week.
What, on the 18th, I believe, right? They finished on the 18th.
So if they did find something, it was probably something that had to be tested.
Yeah, and they kept using the word remains, and they did say it would take a week to 2 to process some of the findings and things, and that's what I'm a little nervous about, because Huff doesn't just call things like this.
Well, I hope they did. I hope they did.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope there's closure for the.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be more afraid that he said, no, we haven't found anything, or, like maybe only we found like biological evidence or something, but not actually him. I hope they did find him for the family.
God, that's so tough. Yeah, it's so tough. But I think there has to be something, because they haven't released her. So Sarah's still in jail pending her competency, and then she's supposed to be, I think, back at a status hearing like on December 23rd. And if they didn't find anything, you'd think they would have released her.
And didn't Stacy just catch an extra charge? They think he got in maybe a jail fight or something.
I think it's probably a jail fight. He just got charged with battery on the 29th. It seems like that'd be a jail fight, but find somewhere's truth. What if they found something in that bedroom crawl space? I don't know. So they did. They finished the yard, and then they went in and finished the house. But they took, so for the yard, they were taking the dirt in dumpsters to another location so they could actually go through it. And that would probably most likely be because of how long it would have been there, and they need to be able to find any pieces of anything. Ugh.
Did they take the cars? Or I don't know what vehicles were involved.
I don't know if they took
there.
I actually don't know if they took the cars. I never saw that they took the cars. Hi, Allison. Hi, Jay.
Connie.
No way.
Hey, Amanda Snyder. How are you?
Hi, hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hey, Missy, thank you.
Hi, Amanda.
You can't see the special thing on the chat, huh? Missy just gifted 5 memberships.
Did she really? No, I can't see that. Thank you, Missy.
So here's what I do. Here's how I lay it out. I open YouTube on another tab, and then I pop the chat out, and I just pause that video, and then I can chat normal.
I could chat like a normal person. We're
Otherwise,
I normally have it open on my phone.
criminality.
I normally have the chat open on my phone, which I don't yet, but that's just in case somebody needs me to drop something like a link or wherever.
She said, "Merry Christmas to you, ho-hos."
Ho-hos.
Cat's eye.
Can we see who got them? Can you see who got the memberships? Does it work? I mean,
I see. Well, I don't think that if there's not enough people that have it open. Oh yeah, I can see. No way. Anna Morris, Cat's Eye, Julie Dunn, and Peppermint Tea. We're all getting
what? No way. How cool is that?
Very cool.
I thought SOs weren't allowed to live by where children play or go to school. It must be different in every state. No, there's typically a guidance on how far away they have to be from a school. There's also different statuses based on the charges. But they do have to live a certain distance. All right, so I got. Did I say? Let me pull them up. Just a couple pictures of the search. But yeah, so anyway, I wanted to come on. I wanted to be able to chat with you guys for a little bit before Anna Morris says, I won.
I won.
OMG, thank you so much. Hi, Red Eye. Julie, that's so funny. Hi, Without Borders.
We should get like a wheel and like spin it and really make it exciting.
I know, that's so funny. She's like, I won. Hi, Allie.
I wonder if I could do
way
that, like,
you
with
won
an app or
too. Yeah, no
something.
way you won. No way you won. Yeah, no way you won. No way you did win. That's so cool. Thank you. Hi, KW.
KW.
I really wish you could see it on StreamYard though.
I know.
Hi, Connie.
Well, you can't see the special things, but I don't use the StreamYard chat because if I did, I'd be you. Or that's just probably because I log in. Also
Hi, Junie. Awesome. But that's why I said, like, I try to have it like on my phone, but I just haven't done that yet today. But anyway, so I wanted to come on early because I wanted to be able to talk to you guys for a little bit. I wanted to kind of hang out, just kind of say hi. It's been a little while since I've been on. Talk with the girls. And so the beginning of this is not anything like, big. I just wanted to be able to chat with you guys before we got into the nitty gritty of whatever Huff is about to say.
Is Allie in here? Hi, Allie. Alex.
Hi, JPO.
Allie's here?
Somebody said hi to her. I didn't see her. But
I did. I saw Allie.
Hey, Allie.
I awaken the art.
Awaken art. Love that.
I've been kicking it in Allie's chat too, and it's fun there also.
I love Allie's chat.
Uh-huh.
Allie's just a very sweet, kind-hearted person, and
Hers and Brittany's are really the only ones I hang out in. But
and then there's basically 5 that I really like, and then there's some others that I watch and listen to.
and Amber and Kelly, of course, but
because there's some that don't do lives, they just do videos. So I know I'm obviously not in their chats, but there's like 5 like that I kind of like to hang out in their chats. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I love Kelly and Amber's morning chats when I can catch them. I was doing good.
I
for a
can't
while.
ever freaking catch Amber's, man. She
You're in
does
there.
this
She's
5:15
early,
crap.
so early.
I know. I'm constantly on the replay with her. CDT, I'm sometimes on the replay. Sometimes I make it. Missy says, I'm going to be a little quiet with you in my earbuds. I'm doing 62 miles in the month of December for St. Jude's Hospital fundraiser, so I'm going to get a few in today while I listen. Holy
Oh, that's
smokes.
cool.
Good job, babe.
Jen Lou always does that to me too. I'll like log in like sleepy, rubbing my eyes, and like she'll have like stream ended, 20 minutes ago, and it was like 2 hours long, and I'm like, what the hell? What?
That's because they do all these early ones.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm not necessarily YouTube ready right when I wake up to go, okay, let's like watch some you know what I mean? Like I need, I don't know, to chill for a minute.
Yeah, I'm usually my grumpiest first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I'm not a good morning person. I'm much better at night. Hi, Dina. I'm a much better night person. I'm more productive at night. But it's tough when you have kids because then you still got to get up at the butt crack of dawn to get them to school. So, yeah, I'm not YouTube ready. Hi, Sarah. I'm not YouTube ready right in the morning. Like, I need some time. I'm not a morning person. Do you consider yourself a morning person, Michelle?
She said yes. She sends the longest messages
In the
and
morning.
like, the nicest ones in the morning. There's nice all
I'm
day
like,
long.
oh God, I'm
but
like,
she
I need like an
definitely-
hour before I can even focus and read that.
She did them at like 5 a.m.
10 minutes, but like I purposely get up early. I don't know. I have to get up early. It's like a thing. No matter what time I go to bed, I just like have to get up early, and it's like a whole day thing.
Blech.
And I'm good. I have all my energy in the morning, and then at night I'm like,
But then how do you stay up so late?
I don't know. It's these cases keep me up, and then I'm just down something, a rabbit hole, you name it. There's always somebody here, so there's always something going on.
Joan wakes up at like 2 a.m. Oh gosh, no.
Ooh,
Michelle is the best in the morning. Yeah, but she's too happy and too nice.
too happy.
That's all the
Roxanne.
day. That's all the day long.
Well, that's all the day, but
I
I can
can't-
handle it the rest of the day. The morning, I'm
I
just like,
can't-
I'm
the
too
ADD I have
irritated right
work.
now to deal with you being so nice to me.
Michelle's like the one person in the whole world. Like I probably could not ever morning
Not in the
attitude
morning.
her. Yeah, if I'm not morning ready for Michelle, then I just won't answer till later.
Swear, I'm not kidding. Like they literally in this house, either half of them just like stay away from me because they don't like me in the morning, and the other half are like, especially if like there's a niece or nephew here, they're like, "Oh, Aunt Shell's up, let's go!" Like, and we're ready.
Yeah, I have to get my
You just
mind ready
say.
before talking to Michelle because I'm not trying to like taint her.
You need like 5 cups of coffee before you can even handle my morning mess.
Oh, man.
Thank you guys.
I probably should, that's maybe what I should do is I should do like when I'm done with school and I actually can function in life, is do like an actual coffee stream because then I can just come on here and just complain about everything.
Oh my gosh, I've
Bitch
literally
about whatever
thought
you need
before.
to.
I was like, I need to talk to Teresa about my complaining streams because, and I already have a name for it, and I'm gonna call my 2 cents and common sense. That's my show. That's my complaint show.
We should just totally have a coffee stream. I'll drop the kids off at school. I'll come back, make a cup of coffee, sit down, and then we'll just complain about everything.
Boom.
Boing.
And then it'll be like our mornings. And then by like the afternoon or evening stream, then we'll just be happy again, and we'll all be nice and kind to one another.
Mhm. We'll figure this morning thing out.
I steal ribbon. And Max's M&M. Don't worry about the member. I mean, obviously, if you want to join, but I'm just happy that you're here. So I don't want you to. I don't stress it.
Not at all. Oh, allegedly, I have 2 behind me, 1 on the floor, and 2 cats somewhere roaming. This one room.
Dolly Bear's got a good name for a venting live with coffee. Call it a venting. I like it.
Me too. I love that. Call it venti.
Guess it's replay for you.
So while we're here, before we see the press conference, can we talk about the Delphi thing for a second?
We could talk about whatever you guys would like to talk about. Like I said, I just missed everybody, and I wanted to be able to get on early enough that I could talk to everybody and say hi and see how everybody's been. So if you want to talk about Delphi, feel free. Talk
So
about
here-
whatever your little heart desires.
Here's
I've
what I
been up
think
for a little
about.
while now, so I'm not as grumpy as I was a couple hours ago, and
Good.
where I would say no, please don't do that.
So here's what I think about it. So they released it, and I mean, first of all, I think everybody was doomed to like be a little bit disappointed. We've been waiting so long, and like we just want all the answers, and that's not really what a probable cause is for. It's just to like get them in jail, and then, it's not all their evidence, hopefully. But here's what I think. I think that like if that would have happened from the evidence that they used in the probable cause affidavit, if it had happened in like LA and it was LAPD, or New York and it was NYPD, he would have been in jail from like, it wouldn't have got past a month at the most. Like, I feel like it's like it boils down to that being a small town. What do you think?
You think the reason why it was kept away, like under wraps in a sense, you mean because it was in a small town?
No, I
No,
think
you
the
didn't
reason
think it
that
wasn't
wasn't
solved quick enough because it's such a small town.
yeah, if it had been in like LA or New York or something like that, like the detectives would have already had that done a long time ago.
Hold on, I love this name, this Tootsie Tinsel.
Oh yeah,
I just love the name.
it's perfect.
Hi, Ellie. Back to good.
Ellie, I love that name.
Hi, Punksy.
Super.
I don't know. I don't know because I feel like bigger towns don't seem to have this type of crime. I know it sounds really weird, but if you look like statistically, like look at LA, like there's not a ton of crime that's extremely targeted like this. I don't know how to explain it. Like maybe I'm not YouTube ready, but
Well, I mean, it's like in LA, it's all gang related and shootings and
there's
stuff.
a ton
I
of
agree,
gang
it's a
related stuff. You
different.
do have a lot of domestic, but you don't have, you have more, it's like more gang related. Chicago, same thing. New York, you got a lot of the same, you got a lot of domestic in all those type of areas. You don't typically, these are such a one-off, and obviously they do happen. I mean, look at what we cover. They do happen, and like LA has like Gabriel Fernandez, but look at CPS failed there. I don't know. I don't feel like bigger cities are more capable to handle it. There are some bigger cities who have more specialized units,
Yes.
but I think that's why people need to call in the FBI right away. And I do believe that the special task force should be the ones that are in charge of these investigations. And I know that sounds really bad, but I don't think an ISP is specialized to be able to handle it. I don't think
Either.
and it's the same way I feel about like the Idaho 4. And as good a cops as they are, what ends up happening is the cops end up looking like they aren't good cops when their typical day of being a cop in Moscow is, driving around and making sure that drunk people make it home. You know what I'm saying? Like drunk college. You see what I'm saying? Like they're
Nothing.
good cops, but when they have something like this, and this is where the world starts freaking out and wants to like defund the police, and they don't know what they're doing, and it's like, but nobody really knows how to deal with this. This is why there should be a very specialized group of people that are the ones that go around and deal with this, and it's like it should be an automatic that crew is who takes lead on the investigation, so that we don't have the conundrums that we fall into when it comes to Delphi and this kid living, or this guy living down the street, from the
But
family.
have I got the echo going right now? Or
I can't ever hear an echo.
I hear it.
You sound good.
But at the very bottom basic level of this, they found the bodies on February 14th. They obviously found the spent shell casing between them on February 14th. And they talked to Richard out. They literally spoke to him in the same time frame. And he said he was there. They didn't think to ask him, do you own a gun? Right then they didn't. Like,
Well, but
that,
the biggest question is, did they ask anybody if they owned a gun?
why would
Because
they
that was a
not?
piece of information they didn't. I mean, not anybody. Do you own a gun? That's not what I mean. But like, they did not want that information out. Which, if you looking back at now how they did the investigation, it was important that they didn't put that information out, because that's how they ended up tying it back. If they had put out that Bridge Guy had a gun, then Bridge Guy would have gotten rid of gun. But now, when they say they never put that out, the Bridge Guy wasn't sure that they knew that he had a gun, so he never got rid of it. So they
But
finally
they
were
had
able
enough
to.
to arrest him. Like, okay, so yeah, in the meantime, all this other stuff comes to light, like this, like Keegan and the all the victims of the child victims on his phone and stuff. But they had enough to arrest Richard Allen when it happened. If they would have done a decent interview on him, which it doesn't really, that it looks like that's what happened, that they didn't
No,
actually
they
interview
didn't
him.
know how to do an
They just
interrogation,
had
and they
they
didn't
just
know
did a
how to
talk.
do correct. They weren't yes, they weren't investigation ready yet. Exactly, they weren't. So they were just kind of like, okay, let's see what everybody saw and what everybody knows. And I firmly believe the same thing with the Idaho 4. It happened, and then they let everybody go, and now they're saying that half those people don't have to come back. Now you got to track down. I mean, it's a disaster.
Mess. It's a whole mess. It's going to prolong it even more. Same thing like back with Delphi. If they didn't have, if this gun would have went missing, the bullet would have been put out there, the markings would have never been able to match to coincide. There
Right.
was a lot.
There was a ton of rumors that there was a gun. A lot of people thought that he had a gun, but it wasn't
There was some that
100%.
caught it. Didn't some catch it, I believe, in the video at one point or another? Like,
No, a lot of people just speculated they could tell that they're like, it was like the mannerisms of a person holding a gun, or like the shape of a gun underneath the jacket in the pocket. And no, I agree. But I do think that when you have a crime of a certain magnitude, I think that there needs to be, it needs to like automatically go to a different crew of people. And it doesn't mean that those are bad cops. It just means that those cops are not what's necessary to solve that
Oh
crime.
yeah, totally agree. I don't think they're bad.
you know,
But they
Sorry,
but it
guys,
makes them look
social
really bad.
sphere.
It makes them look really bad.
makes the unit as a whole look really, really bad. And I'm all about those specialized task force because they are so important. They take a person who has background and tremendous education or experience in dealing with these psychos that do this kind of thing. And when you bring 5 to 6 different people from all these different ranges of crazy expertise and you put them together and then let them use law enforcement under, regular detectives and things like that, you're going to get something out of that versus handing it over to 4 detectives who in 2 days, 25 more cases come in, and there's like, it just doesn't.
Or they could just bring Brian Enton in right away.
Right. Right.
Oh my God. Did you guys see about that cop from Virginia that drove across the country to California? I know you heard about it, Teresa. It happened down there. And came and tried to kidnap that teenage girl, and he killed her parent, her mom and her grandparents.
Yeah.
Drove across, and
That's
he was an
Riverside.
active cop.
Yeah, that's Riverside.
Yeah.
That's not far.
Insane. Crazy story.
Did they not want the PCA out mainly because it makes them look bad? Well, here's the funny thing is they actually don't think it makes them look bad. And Christine said this right at the beginning of bringing up Delphi. This is a probable cause affidavit. All they have to do is give enough to a judge to say, hey, this is what we have, and this is enough to charge him. That does not mean it's everything they have, because they do not want the defense to be able to access all of the information they have. Do we know that they have more? No.
Well,
Could they have more? Yes.
I saw an interview with FBI. I don't know. It wasn't the lady that's usually doing the interviews, but it was a man, and he was saying that the smoking gun in that probable cause affidavit is literally the smoking gun. That's that piece of information about the bullet and the gun is the only thing that made him be chargeable with murder, because it tied him directly to the crime scene, which was all they had to do. They don't have to they don't have to prove that he killed him or anything. All they have to do is tie him to the crime scene to charge him with murder, and they did that with the gun. So
Right.
it's loose. In my opinion, it's obvious that. I mean, I believe them that it's obvious that there was somebody else there. Like.
Well,
I think a lot of that.
the way that it reads, it does. It seems like there's somebody else there, but I also have such a problem with that still, because somebody who does this doesn't typically have like a whole group of people that just keep their mouth shut and everybody's like fine and dandy for almost 6 years.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, T. Like, hold on, it's my camera. Hold on.
It's probably just Kagan and Richard. I don't know.
No,
Hi,
that's
Jax.
well, at least in my opinion, I feel like I definitely do feel like that there was a second person, but I also feel like, and this might sound a little crazy, but that second person may not have realized that Richard Allen was shadowing what they were already in the works of doing. And he doesn't have to actually connect himself fully to where Tony actually knows that Richard Allen is doing this today. There could be other things that we're getting ready to set in play, because Richard was shadowing Tony, Keegan, whoever.
I think you have it backwards.
What do I have back?
In my opinion, actually, I know something about the. I haven't discussed it with Teresa yet, so I'm not willing to say it out loud. We'll have to do that on a different live.
Yeah, the hybrid Pisces, I absolutely agree. What his riddles make absolutely no sense now that he's like, I think that everybody's going to have a clear picture once it's released. It's like, what? What time's the presser? It's in about 10 minutes. I'm about to pull it all up and have it ready to go. We were just kind of chit-chatting about life and other cases that, like, it's been so long since we've been able to come on. I know there's just a ton that's happened, and I'm down to like my final 15 days of school. I've got a lot of papers, a lot of finals to study for. So I'm doing my best, I promise. And then hopefully I'll be able to see you guys a lot more. And then
Run the World. I saw that and I agree. I think that they're waiting for Richard Allen to squeal and he hasn't yet. Oh,
no, he's not going to squeal.
Why would he?
I agree. I think they're waiting. They think he'll say.
All right, let me turn this off real quick. And then, okay, so I wanted to show you guys these couple of pictures of the backyard before we go. And I don't know if you guys have actually seen these yet, but it was some drone footage of the Wanderers' backyard and where they were digging. I don't know if you can, is that kind of blurry or no? Can you guys actually see that?
I see it. I mean, I can't. I see the tractor and stuff.
Okay. Let's see. Let me pull up the other one. This one you can see better where they were actually digging. Because remember they said they were doing it in like layers, but you can actually tell they dug much deeper right here than they did in any of this part of it.
I thought they had taken down like that whole fence area, or just
they just took out this little side fence right here. This is the only fence that was out for them to be able to bring the tractor in. Tractors in.
Who else lives in that house?
Well, we know that the couple lived there, but they had people that were in and out and like crashed or like quote unquote roommates. There's a couple guys that have been pinpointed like from the internet that stayed there. And one of them was not a very good dude. And people think he's the guy that was actually walking on the street that was captured. The image was captured. Hold on, now I can't see chat, so hold on.
Hybrid Pisces. Do you have any idea how many thousands of collective hours have been spent researching the shack, for fuck's sake?
I know. I know. Do you know how many
days of my life I've wasted on that?
Well, he definitely, because he put out all kinds of stuff that just made no sense. Okay, let me go over here let me go to News Nation, because they did have a couple clips. So I'll play for you guys why I pull up the. I want to bring.
in, attorney Rachel Fizet. Good to see you as always.
So this is Michael Vaughan.
This is a really sad case because the family has already been told that they are looking for remains. So police seem to have been led down the path that this little boy is not alive, which is horribly, horribly tragic. So legally speaking, I'm wondering about Sarah Wondra. She's been charged with not
doing
reporting
like double volume
body without remains. What more do you read into that charge and what it means?
Is that better?
Yeah.
I think the police have very credible information that the little boy has died. And I think that they probably have physical evidence as to his death and perhaps witnesses or something else that have given them probable cause to charge Ms. Wondra with not reporting the death. So she knows what happened to Michael and she did not report it in time. She basically covered it up. And that's what this charge looks like.
Well, and Rachel, just to share with people at home a little bit of what was in court documents, and it's pretty chilling. Sarah was declared unfit to stand trial, as I mentioned. A local newspaper reporting that she told police she did not kill Michael Vaughan, but that God told her that her husband did kill him and then buried him in their yard. So mental health, mental illness will clearly be a part of that, whether that's a defense at this point, ahead of possible charges, we don't know. But how does that type of thing play out in this early part of a case, potentially?
One has to be declared competent to stand trial, which means that they have to aid in their own defense. And that's what's happening right now in court, is they are determining that she is not competent. What she's saying will not aid her. So they can't proceed with going through a trial and going through the evidence with her at this point. They will try again in 90 days and they will evaluate her. What she's saying probably matches other evidence that they have that perhaps her husband did kill him or perhaps that he is buried in their yard. So my guess is they have other evidence, and then on top of her statements that she basically knows this happened for whatever reason, is what has led them to where they are. But it sounds like they have very, very credible evidence, and that today's press conference will likely corroborate something that they found such that they can identify him as being deceased.
So the husband, Stacy, already in jail on unrelated charges. If in fact they find this evidence, they find the remains, they charge him, what then now that he's already in custody?
Oh, they just go through a separate case. He just remains in custody for his current charge while being tried perhaps on this next charge. So they have not charged him. And my guess is after they identify what is actually going on, if what she's saying is credible, and if they have other evidence that is credible that he actually did kill the little boy, then they just proceed with charges and he's in custody while that happens. That's not that unusual.
Her charge for not reporting a death, what are the consequences legally for that type of charge?
Well, it's a pretty serious felony. I believe she faces up to 10 years for not reporting the death. And that charge in and of itself is bad, but it may signal what's to come ahead, which means she was part of the death. She was an accessory in his murder. So it's kind of a minor charge they had probable cause for. And if and when they find the body, it may lead to other more serious charges and crimes that she was part of this cover-up or his death, or in some way assisted her husband, if that's what it shows.
He disappeared in June of last year, left his home trying to go find a friend to play with. It just doesn't get any worse than this. Rachel Fizet, thank you for helping us update the case this morning as we await more details from police later today. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
There was another one on here too that I wanted to play beforehand. See, it seems like here's the fact. They have something. This one.
So, well,
Teresa, did you see Michelle's video?
I did. I saw Michelle's video. Yeah. Let me see.
Oh, fine.
my wife got me this weird new tool for Christmas. And at
Why
first,
do I have-
I thought it looked kind of.
In our missing series this morning, the family of a little boy in Idaho are hoping they can finally get some answers as to what happened to him. Michael Vaughan disappeared last year when he was just 5 years old. Today, police are going to hold a press conference a few hours from now, and they are expected to reveal what they found while excavating a neighbor's backyard. This family, tragic as it may be, are hoping for answers, for closure, and that this isn't another false lead. Here's a look at Michael's story. For more than a week earlier this month, heavy equipment worked in the backyard of a neighborhood home just blocks from where 5-year-old Michael Vaughan disappeared. Police saying they received credible information they would find his remains there. Lauren Mathias speaking for Michael's mother, Brandy.
Even as she was telling me that that was the word law enforcement used, the word remains, she could hardly say it herself. When she said it to me, she started crying. And she said, I can't say that word yet.
She says the family still doesn't know what, if anything, was found, only that an occupant of the house, 35-year-old Sarah Wandra, has been charged with failing to report a death. The smiling little boy, known as Monkey, disappeared in July of 2021. He was at home with his dad and baby sister while mom was at work. Dad says he went to change a diaper, and when he came back, Michael was gone.
Searched the house, searched the backyard, went out in the front yard, jumped in the van, called Brandy.
Last winter, Michael's mom, Brandy, invited our News Nation team to their Idaho home, showing us where the canine search teams had tracked Michael's path as he apparently looked for neighborhood kids to play with.
He went to a neighbor's house. He went to another neighbor's house and another neighbor's house.
But the trail went cold at the end of the street. Police labeling the disappearance an abduction, many assuming that meant an outsider.
We have wondered where in the world. And so to find out that they're digging in a home in their neighborhood, a 4-minute walk away, is very, very overwhelming.
A year and a half of searching and interviewing, police saying they wouldn't give up.
We haven't stopped. Every day we have unfinished business, and I'll tell you that every day is an anniversary of the disappearance from Michael Vaughan.
Now vigils, and the wait to hear if police finally have answers to what happened to Michael.
Beautiful, you guys.
Okay, here we go. Let's hope the volume's good.
Good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to start out by saying thank you to our media partners. Thanks for being here. And thank you for the continued coverage of the Michael Vaughan case. I also wanted to begin by just giving my sincere thanks to all the law enforcement agencies, local businesses, and members of the public who helped us over the course of the last year and a half of this intense investigation. More recently, during the last 3 weeks, we could not have completed the work necessary without the selfless help of others. The community support has been absolutely incredible. As you know, from the time Michael went missing, this has been an all hands on deck investigation, and it remains very active and an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop. During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughan could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland. As a result, the Fruitland Police Department obtained a search warrant for the residence along with the front and backyards. That search warrant was served on November 11th. It was a Friday. We served that late in the evening. Upon entry, officers encountered Sarah Wandra, one of the known occupants of the home, and Sarah was subsequently arrested based on probable cause that she had knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report that death to law enforcement. The following day, the Fruitland Police Department, joined by the Idaho State Police, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, the Fruitland Fire Department, and the Fruitland Public Works Department, began a very methodical excavation of the backyard of the Wanderers' home. During that excavation process, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Mountain States detection dogs deployed multiple certified human remains detection dogs on the property, all of them alerting to the presence of human remains. Ground penetrating radar was also used and deployed, detecting anomalies in the backyard. We completed the excavation of the entire backyard and removed over 250 yards of dirt. Prior to backfilling the yard, the dirt was meticulously sifted for any potential human remains. We did not find Michael's remains. Although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. As of today, the whereabouts of his remains are unknown. However, the investigation is active, fluid, and ongoing. Once the excavation was complete, we conducted a thorough search of the Wanderers' residence. The search was productive, and additional investigative evidence was recovered and is currently being processed. Evidence suggests that the following individuals who are currently in custody are involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughan. This is Sarah Wandra, 35 years old. Sarah lives at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Sarah has firsthand knowledge and is involved in Michael's abduction. Sarah Wandra is currently being held at the Payette County Jail for failing to report a death to law enforcement. This is Sarah's husband, Stacy Wandra, 30 years old, a male. Stacy was also living at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Stacy has firsthand knowledge and is involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughan. Stacy's currently being held in the Washington County Jail on unrelated charges. Now, the next individuals I'm going to introduce you to, let's go at the bottom there. This is Brandon Shirtliff, 30 years old, of Kuna, Idaho. Brandon was living with Sarah and Stacy Wandra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance. And we believe Brandon has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Brandon is currently believed to be in North Dakota. Adrian Lucien, 32-year-old male out of Toledo, Ohio. Adrian was staying with Sarah and Stacy Wandra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance. And we believe that Adrian has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Adrian's currently believed to be in Toledo, but floats between Ohio and California. I strongly encourage Shirtliff and Lucien to contact the Fruitland Police Department detectives as the window of time for talking and cooperation is coming to a close. This remains an active and ongoing investigation, with conversations taking place with the Payette County Prosecutor's Office about Michael's case and those individuals involved. We also believe that there are others associated with the Wanderers, Shirtliff, and Lucien, who may have knowledge of Michael's abduction, and I would strongly encourage them to come forward and speak with my detectives. When we finally reach the conclusion of this investigation, and I can assure you that we will, all of those who have knowledge of Michael's disappearance and have failed to report or hindered our investigation will be pursued. There's a moment in time to do the right thing and bring your information forward and cooperate. And that moment in time is now. To date, the Fruitland Police Department has received over 1,500 tips and leads, and we received many new leads since this phase of the investigation has began. We continue to ask our community for support and patience as we continue to aggressively work this case. We also ask that the Vaughan family's privacy continue to be respected, and we'll continue to post updates as information can be shared. Tips can be sent to findmichael@fruitland.org or to Crime Stoppers at 343cops.com or the Fruitland Police Department at 208-452-3110. Tipsters can remain anonymous. So before I open it up for questions, I just want to make it clear that this is a very active and ongoing investigation. It's super important that we maintain the integrity of this investigation. So I'd ask you that you'd please tailor your questions accordingly. With that, I'll stand for a few questions. Alex?
So if Michael's remains are not found, will Sarah have to be released, or do you think that she will remain in jail once you locate the other people that you think are involved?
It is my belief that she will remain in custody. But again, we're in talks with the Fayette County prosecutor, and those talks are ongoing as far as charging.
And you can't speak to any additional evidence that was found in the house, like you said, you can't.
I cannot. Again, I just don't want to jeopardize the integrity of this investigation. Leslie?
J.P. Wandra is listed as an inmate in Washington County Jail, but he's not on the Idaho court records because it's currently like federal hold. Are there any other charges aside from hers that have been filed in relation to this?
Not that I'm aware of. Not at this point. Go ahead.
What was different about the tip you received in this case after, 1,500 tips over the last almost year and a half? What led to the arrest and the search? Can you share any more about what led you to that home?
I don't want to get into the details on that, but I can assure you that the tip that we received was credible. I also released that in an earlier statement that it came from one of the occupants of the home, which led to that. Yes.
I'm sure that you guys in your investigation are following social media pages, which a lot of us have looked at. And one of them indicates a trip out of state taken within the time frame. Without hampering the investigation, you guys are at least aware of that trip taken to get a dog?
We are currently aware of a lot. And so I would tell you that you just need to trust us and trust in this investigation. We're making tremendous progress. We're comfortable with where we're at. I appreciate that question.
So Sarah Wandra didn't pass her mental evaluation for when they were in the hearing and things. Do you think this affects the investigation at all, considering that to be the case?
I do not at this point.
There have been mentions of a neighbor's yard. Has that been searched in any way or taken into consideration in this investigation?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we'll be deploying ground penetrating radar in the neighbor's yard tomorrow. So we haven't done that yet, but we will. That's on the agenda for tomorrow. So thank you.
Aside from just living with the Wandras, do we know what the relationship with the two names were? How are they connected with the Wandras?
I'm not, this is ongoing. I'm not going to get into the semantics and dynamics of the relationship there. Alex?
A lot of neighbors spoke to us about a scooter that you guys were looking for. Can you speak to anything about, like, you had found a scooter, if that was related, or if that's something that you were possibly looking for at the Wandras residence at all?
Again, that's evidentiary in nature, and I'm not going to speak to that at this point. So.
You mentioned the other property that's going to be starting to be searched tomorrow. Are there warrants for any other properties besides that have been sought out?
Not at this point, but in the course of this investigation, I believe that there are other locations that we will definitely be searching. So there is no warrant for the search that we're going to do tomorrow. It's all consensual. So I appreciate that.
Was the warrant that was executed in CUNA in recent weeks related to Brandon Shirtland?
We did not have a warrant for any home in CUNA.
But was there a search related
So-
to his home?
Yes, there was.
You said that you believe that one of them is in North Dakota. You haven't located him yet. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Do you mind spelling their last names for us? I'm sorry.
Sure, I can. You obviously have the Wanderer's last name, correct? Okay. Last of Shurtliff is Shurtliff. Last of Lucien is Lucienne. Okay, all right. Well, if we don't have any other questions, I'm going to conclude this press conference. Karen, one more.
One more. If neither of these individuals do come forward with information, could they face any charges related to tampering an investigation or anything like that?
You know, I would tell you that, I'm not going to discuss our investigative strategies at this point. But it is my belief that charges are forthcoming.
One last question. I know you're very proud of your team. That's really done an amazing job so far. Can you talk more about that and about how they're doing?
You know,
It's got to be tough.
it is tough. You know, we've lived this case from the time that it began, and but I'm telling you, I've got a very strong, committed group of people here, and they come in here every day, and we're in this grind, and they are committed to finding Michael, and we're just not going to stop. Everybody should know that we are not going to stop until we uncover the truth in its entirety, I would say. So thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Wow.
I, for once in my life, have no words. No words.
I did not expect that. So
That's the guy on the couch. I don't. I've
okay,
never seen him
I have
before.
these pictures. I'm going to bring them up so I can show you guys. But okay, so I could not hear any of the questions asked by the
Me
reporters.
neither.
So that
No.
kind of sucks. I wish they would have given him a microphone. That was actually, for once, finally, a press conference we could hear, and yet we couldn't hear the questions. So that kind of sucks. Holy crap. Okay, so they got the tip. They take the cadaver dogs. All the cadaver dogs they take hit in the backyard. Every one of them. So they dig and they find nothing. So.
Or they
okay,
found something that was leading them somewhere else. I don't, what could that be?
Well, so they said they searched in the house, and that was a good search. They were able to actually find something in the house. So they don't say what they found in the house, but they did find something in the house. So whatever, and they do believe that he was taken and that he is no longer alive. This is crazy. So they took this baby somewhere else.
Look at those
Obviously,
faces.
whatever they found in the house has to match something with Michael for them to still tie Michael to this house and to these people. So this is really crazy. This is crazy.
They must have found some of that bio. I'm just putting a scenario out there because, you know, in these crazy cases, look at the 4 faces we're looking at, and I can only imagine what happened to this baby.
Let me see if I saved these pictures the last time we were talking about this, because if not, I'll save them right now, or I'll just show them from my.
Let's say, God forbid, he wet himself during something and something like that was found inside of that home.
I can't believe I'm kind of at a loss for words. So they have something, and they're gonna be searching other places. And as we know from just watching these 50,000 TikTok channels that she had, and he's got 20 Instagrams, and I'm exaggerating the numbers, but seriously, there's a lot. And we know they went to a few different places. one of them being Texas. And if you have these other guys that potentially could have moved him, one of them is believed to be in Ohio. Like, where in the world is this baby?
He bounces back to Toledo, I believe they said.
Yeah.
This baby could be anywhere.
Right.
Oh my
They
goodness.
did, Jesse. Yeah, they hit on the cadaver dogs hit on human remains, but there's no baby, there's no body. So a lot of people are asking why Chris is there, and I get that Chris is extremely controversial. So I know that people have a lot of feelings about Chris McDonough, and I understand. I really, really do. For the purposes of this, I just want you guys to know he is friends with the Vaughan family and like with Brandy, and he has been with close with her from almost the beginning of this. So he's probably there because if you notice, they were not there. He's probably there representing them versus anything else, like, because this case is not a cold case, so I don't believe it would belong with the Cold Case Foundation or that they would even be contributing, but I don't know that for sure. But I really, he's probably there as a support system for the family, and I just, it is what it is, and we can all have our feelings about what we think of all these people on YouTube, but you know how I feel about that. It really is irrelevant because we're not here to focus on anything to do with some other channel being there. We're here to focus on what they're saying about Michael, and I hope that you guys can respect that and just keep it towards that.
And we got to remember Brandy and Tyler deserve support as well. And
this is nuts. Now, like thinking like that they're right there and that their baby was there and now their baby's not there. And I just can't imagine. I feel so bad for them.
They dealt with a lot of they came on YouTube. They dealt with YouTube. There's a lot of internet things going on. So then Chris McDonough kind of steps in, and he also is law enforcement in a sense to them. He's a trusted source for Brandy. Probably, I'm almost positive on this. He can break down a lot of the Ellie lingo that maybe she just doesn't understand, can help her guide her through some of this internet YouTube stuff. I'm sure Chris plays a very vital role for Brandy right now, outside of whatever, create or whatnot,
Yeah.
Let's just
Jesse said maybe he isn't deceased. Well, here's the thing is the cadaver dogs hit on human remains in that backyard. And whatever they found in the house, this is what I'm thinking, whatever they found in that house has to tie to Michael. Otherwise, I don't know why they would still, I mean, he states specifically he does believe that he is deceased. They moved him somewhere else. Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Let me pull up these. I just have them in my messenger, so you'll just have to bear with me while I go through there. Dang it.
Moved him when? Wasn't that guy, it wasn't the man in jail since like April? Or when did he first?
Yeah, so he's in jail on Stacy. He's in jail for a gun charge, firearms charges. So these are in my messenger, so I'm not gonna be able to zoom in on them, but it's fine. Hold on.
They're gonna be
let me catch my neighbor in my backyard digging a hole. That wouldn't even happen. Am I reading that right? They're going to search the neighbor's backyard. They weren't there.
No, the neighbors. No, she tried to say something about it being the neighbor. She tried to say something about it being in the neighbor's yard, but no, they never even searched the neighbor's yard. And ironically, the neighbors were the first ones that people were calling out because they're the couple that is registered. They're both registered.
They're doing ground trading radar.
You guys can't really see. So this is Brandon, and like I said, these are in my messenger, so I can't zoom in. I didn't save them. But this is Brandon. So she's on March 24th. She's saying, "Friend Brandon with our dog Oakley." So that's Brandon. That's the Brandon that's there. So hold on, let me see if I can go through these pictures. Okay, so then as I was going through, I'm just totally doxing this dude right now, which is probably really bad, but it's him, so I don't really know if I care. But
didn't they just ask to speak to him anyway?
Well, this guy came up. Did they say his last name? Am I doxing this dude? I don't really want to be doxing this dude if it's not the right dude. Shit.
I don't know.
I'm so like flustered right now. I'm just like, eh. So anyway, so he's the one that came up as on the friends of these people when the whole thing came out about her saying that Adrian did it. And then this is the other guy. This is Cesar Garudo. Did I save the one? So do you guys remember the picture? Hold on, let me find it. Of all of them driving in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Brandon is behind Sarah, and this guy, which is who I actually thought they were going to name today, and they didn't, was the other guy that was behind the car. They say that this is the guy that was walking down the street, but maybe he's not then, because they didn't name him at all. I'm trying to find the picture of the 4 guys in the car. Hold on. There's so many pictures in here. It's ridiculous. I'm just so... I don't know. Hold on. I want to back that up. They spelled their last names, right?
Through the course of this investigation, I believe.
When does he spell their last name?
Lucienne.
Oh, here, hold on. He does spell it right here.
Last of short-lived.
Oh, no, it's not the same guy. It's a different guy. Good thing I thought about
Sorry,
it.
guy.
Last of Lucienne is Luci.
Lucienne. Lucien.
Last of Lucienne is Lucienne.
Okay. All right. I swear I had the car picture. I'm so upset. Like, I thought they were going to go one way or the other. They were going to say, nope, we got nothing. Or they were going to say, yep, we found him or enough of him to have some, but now it's just like nothing. It's like, so frustrating. I'm looking for the freaking car pic. Why did I not save that car pic? How dumb is that? There it is. Okay. Okay. See, I can't zoom in on it, but so you got Stacy and Sarah, and then behind Sarah you have that Brandon dude. And then she.
What if Stacy, the man, what if he's the one that, like, on his charges that he had, like, what if he's the one that tipped him off to him being in the backyard and he didn't know that? And then Sarah Sarah moved him, and that's why they were looking in the backyard and didn't.
Do you think Sarah moved him? I'm thinking these guys did.
I think maybe Stacy could have, like, tried to, like, what's the word? Negotiate with them, and told him, and then he didn't know that Sarah would move. He thought he was there. Maybe.
So this Brandon guy actually just did an interview with JLR on YouTube. You can't make this shit up. Then he said that him and Sarah were gone all day and Stacy was home. And when they got back, when him and Sarah got back, that Michael had already been missing. He'd already gone missing when they got back. I can't believe this guy just did an interview. And now they're like, you need to turn yourself in. They've obviously contacted him, right? Stacy had time to move him before he was in jail. Right. Yes, he did. So, he went missing. They said July 27th, I thought, right?
I guess we don't know who was in the house that tipped him off, but If he tipped him off, he probably would have tried to give him the real location. That's only, I'm just speculating.
Well, isn't it weird that they said somebody inside the house tipped him off that he was there, but then he's not actually there? So it's like whoever tipped him off didn't know that he was moved. I don't know if we can watch it, Jesse. I don't know if he would strike or not, to be honest with you. I don't know him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if I want to play around with it. But he did. He interviewed the Brandon guy. But then so this other guy, Caesar, is what I'm wondering, because he is in jail. The Caesar guy, and he was around the family at the same time. So is Caesar the tipper?
Maybe. Because they didn't even mention him.
They don't even mention him.
And I mean, they mentioned other people that were living or there at the house at the time or whatever. That's a good theory.
I'm going to go back and find her statement. I'm just so floored. It's just so crazy. I really thought they were going to have something. Okay, so police forced entry into the Wandra's home around 9:30 p.m. on Friday, where they found Sarah Wandra in the living room. She was detained and read a copy of the search warrant. Officer says, when I got to the portion that read murder, she said, "Did you just say murder?" multiple times. A Fruitland police officer said that she also said, "I have never murdered anyone." Officials said Wandra maintained that she definitely did not kill that boy and said the Most High God already told me who did it. She reportedly told police, "Oh, wow, the Most High God just told me that Stacy was the one who killed him and buried him in the yard of the neighbor's house." When asked later to show police where the boy was buried, according to the affidavit, she told police of a spot near the entry of her residence and said Stacy had buried him in the backyard by the shed. Police said by that point they had begun hand digging a portion of the Wanderer's yard based on information received from Stacy, who had not been arrested or charged by Monday afternoon. It wasn't clear when or why police had spoken with Stacy about it. Sarah Wandra was arrested and told police, "God just told me that Stacy was the one who did it," adding that she knew the body was in the neighbor's yard because that's what Stacy just told me. She then corrected herself and said that's what God told her. She allegedly reiterated to police that she had nothing to do with Michael's disappearance. She said her husband buried Michael in the backyard by the shed, but wasn't the one who actually harmed the boy. She said instead that a man identified only as Adrian had been the one that had done it, and he was scared to tell anybody. Police said by that point they had begun I guess I repeated that in here for some reason. Sarah Wonder was arrested and told that Stacy was the one who did it. I'm confused too. So she says Stacy told her, and then she changes it to God told her. So I don't know why they wouldn't have just gotten the other two men. Obviously, Brandon's easy to find. They were hiding Brandon's location when he was in the jacuzzi. Well, yeah, it definitely sounds like a fabricated story. The whole thing's a disaster. Did they check the neighbor's yard too? Maybe the dogs hit because it was close to the fence. They didn't say that one way or the other. I don't know. I know that they had already taken back when Michael had gone missing. They took dogs, and I don't know if they were search or cadaver dogs or both, to a lot of the sex offenders' homes that were in that area, checking. Like I said, I don't know if they were scent dogs or cadaver dogs, though. They're starting that yard tomorrow. Do you think they're starting that yard tomorrow? Where'd you hear that?
I think Michelle said it.
Michelle said it? Our Michelle?
Yeah, I think she said that.
When did she say that? And where did she hear that?
I don't know. Her microphone was broken again. I can't tell you the answer to that.
Michelle.
She's probably
Shit,
going to
I
type
missed
it.
I find it extremely disturbing that a YouTube creator interviewed such a very important person of interest in this case before the police could even release his name. And in all fairness, did he know that he would be that important? I mean, like, we knew who the guy was only from Facebook. I don't know.
They said that they said in the press conference
That they're starting the neighbor's yard tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh shit, how did I miss that? I'm gonna have to listen to it again then.
The neighbor signed a consent for tomorrow. Oh yeah, and then Michelle said about the radar.
Did they say that neighbor signed a consent for tomorrow? Where at in the video did they say that? I'm gonna pull it back up.
I don't know. Michelle said it, so it's true.
What?
Michelle said it, so it must be true.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just wanna. I was so just like, what the F? Like, I missed it. Let's see.
Wait, they did? I missed that part. Oh my gosh, we missed everything.
What?
Allison
What they say?
Faye, I didn't hear that. Allison Faye said they also said that Michael was burned. Did I miss that?
They did? Okay, no way.
We need to
I was like
re-listen, I
that
think.
flabbergasted by the whole thing. Ground penetrating ready digging tomorrow. I heard that they were going to be digging other locations. I guess I just didn't hear that it was the neighbor.
All
Were we
right,
listening
now
to the same press
we're used to
conference?
Chris's presence in the back, so now we can actually listen.
Okay. And Michelle's mic isn't working, or what's going on?
Yeah, her mic's broke.
The reporter asked a question. I couldn't hear any of their questions. Okay, go to the Q&A section. Okay, I'm going to do that right now.
Process. Evidence suggests that there are the following individuals who are currently in custody.
Where does he say burned?
3110. Tipsters can remain anonymous. So before I open it up for questions, I just want to make it clear that this is a very active and ongoing investigation. It's super important that we maintain the integrity of this investigation.
Hi, NorCal Jen.
I'd ask you that you'd please tailor your
You have to turn
questions
your mic off.
accordingly.
It's doubling.
With that, I'll stand for a few questions. Alex?
So if Michael's remains are not found, will Sarah have to be released, or do you think that she will remain in jail once you locate the other people that you think are involved?
It is my belief that she will remain in custody. But again, we're in talks with the Fayette County prosecutor, and those talks are ongoing as far as charging.
And you can't speak to any additional evidence that was found in the house, like you said, you can't.
I cannot. Again, I just don't want to jeopardize the integrity of this investigation. Leslie?
Michael Vaughan is listed as an inmate in Washington County Jail, but he's not on the Idaho court records because it's currently like federal hold. Are there any other charges?
Okay, I'm going to go back to the beginning. If you guys don't want to watch it again, I totally get it. If you don't want to stick around,
Not
but
that I'm
I'm
aware
going to
of.
watch it from the beginning
Not at this point.
because now they're saying the burn parts at the beginning, and I have to re-listen.
Check.
Sincere thanks to all the law enforcement agencies, local businesses, and members of the public who helped us over the course of the last year and a half of this intense investigation. More recently, during the last 3 weeks, we could not have completed the work necessary without the selfless help of others. The community support has been absolutely incredible. As you know, from the time Michael went missing, this has been an all-hands-on-deck investigation, and it remains very active and an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop. During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughan could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland. As a result, the Fruitland Police Department obtained a search warrant for the residence along with the front and backyards. That search warrant was served on November 11th. It was a Friday. We served that late in the evening. Upon entry, officers encountered Sarah Wandra, one of the known occupants of the home, and Sarah was subsequently arrested based on probable cause that she had knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report that death to law enforcement. The following day, the Fruitland Police Department, joined by the Idaho State Police, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, the Fruitland Fire Department, and the Fruitland Public Works Department began a very methodical excavation of the backyard of the Wanderers' home. During that excavation process, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Mountain States detection dogs deployed multiple certified human remains detection dogs on the property, all of them alerting to the presence of human remains. Ground penetrating radar was also used and deployed, detecting anomalies in the backyard. We completed the excavation of the entire backyard and removed over 250 yards of dirt. Prior to backfilling the yard, the dirt was meticulously sifted for any potential human remains. We did not find Michael's remains. Although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property.
Buried.
As of today, the whereabouts of his remains are unknown. However, the investigation is active, fluid, and ongoing. Once the excavation was complete, we conducted a thorough search of the Wanderers' residence. The search was productive, and additional investigative evidence was recovered and is currently being processed. Evidence suggests that there are the following individuals who are currently in custody are involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughan. This is Sarah Wandra, 35 years old. Sarah lives at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Sarah has firsthand knowledge and is involved in Michael's abduction. Sarah Wandra is currently being held at the Payette County Jail for failing to report a death to law enforcement. This is Sarah's husband, Stacy Wandra, 30 years old, a male. Stacy was also living at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Stacy has firsthand knowledge and is involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughan. Stacy's currently being held in the Washington County Jail on unrelated charges. Now, the next individuals I'm going to introduce you to, let's go at the bottom there. This is Brandon Shirtliff, 30 years old, of Kuna, Idaho. Brandon was living with Sarah and Stacy Wandra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe Brandon has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Brandon is currently believed to be in North Dakota. Adrian Lucien, 32-year-old male out of Toledo, Ohio. Adrian was staying with Sarah and Stacy Wandra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe that Adrian has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Adrian is currently believed to be in Toledo, but floats between Ohio and California. I strongly encourage Shirtliff and Lucien to contact the Fruitland Police Department detectives as the window of time for talking and cooperation is coming to a close. This remains an active and ongoing investigation, with conversations taking place with the Payette County Prosecutor's Office about Michael's case and those individuals involved. We also believe that there are others associated with the Wanderers, Shirtliff and Lucien, who may have knowledge of Michael's abduction, and I would strongly encourage them to come forward and speak with my detectives. When we finally reach the conclusion of this investigation, and I can assure you that we will, all of those who have knowledge of Michael's disappearance and have failed to report or hindered our investigation will be pursued. There's a moment in time to do the right thing and bring your information forward and cooperate. And that moment in time is now. To date, the Fruitland Police Department has received over 1,500 tips and leads and we received many new leads since this phase of the investigation has began. We continue to ask our community for support and patience as we continue to aggressively work this case. We also ask that the Vaughan family's privacy continue to be respected, and we'll continue to post updates as information can be shared. Tips can be sent to findmichael@fruitland.org or to Crime Stoppers at 343cops.com or the Fruitland Police Department at 208-452-3110. Tipsters can remain anonymous. So before I open it up for questions, I just want to make it clear that this is a very active and ongoing investigation. It's super important that we maintain the integrity of this investigation. So I'd ask you that you'd please tailor your questions accordingly. With that, I'll stand for a few questions. Alex?
So if Michael's remains are not found, will Sarah have to be released, or do you think that she will remain in jail once you locate the other people that you think are involved?
It is my belief that she will remain in custody. But again, we're in talks with the Fayette County prosecutor, and those talks are ongoing as far as charging.
And you can't speak to any additional evidence that was found in the house, like you said, you can't.
I cannot. Again, I just don't want to jeopardize the integrity of this investigation. Leslie?
J.P. Wandra is listed as an inmate in Washington County Jail, but he's not on the Idaho court records because it's currently like federal hold. Are there any other charges aside from hers that have been filed in relation to this?
Not that I'm aware of. Not at this point. Go ahead.
What was different about the tip you received in this case after, 1,500 tips over the last almost year and a half? What led to the arrest and the search? Can you share any more about what led you to that home?
I don't want to get into the details on that, but I can assure you that the tip that we received was credible. I also released that in an earlier statement that it came from one of the occupants of the home, which led to that. Yes.
I'm sure that you guys in your investigation are following social media pages, which a lot of us have looked at. And one of them indicates a trip out of state taken within the time frame. Without hampering the investigation, you guys are at least aware of that trip taken to get a dog?
We are currently aware of a lot. And so I would tell you that you just need to trust us and trust in this investigation. We're making tremendous progress. We're comfortable with where we're at. I appreciate that question.
So Sarah Wonder didn't pass her mental evaluation for when they were in the hearing and things. Do you think this affects the investigation at all, considering that to be the case?
I do not at this point.
There have been mentions of a neighbor's yard. Has that been searched in any way or taken into consideration in this investigation?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we'll be deploying ground penetrating radar in the neighbor's yard tomorrow.
There it is.
So we haven't done that yet, but we will. That's on the agenda for tomorrow. So thank you.
Aside from just living with the Wanders, do we know what the relationship with the two men you named were? How are they connected with Wanders?
This is ongoing. I'm not going to get into the semantics and dynamics of the relationship there. Alex?
A lot of neighbors spoke to us about a scooter that maybe you guys were looking for. Can you speak to anything about, like, if you had found a scooter, if that was related, or if that's something that you were possibly looking for at the Wonders residence at all?
Again, that's evidentiary in nature, and I'm not going to speak to that at this point. So.
You mentioned the other property that's going to be starting to be searched tomorrow. Are there warrants for any other properties besides that have been sought out?
Not at this point, but through the course of this investigation, I believe that there are other locations that we will definitely be searching. So there is no warrant for the search that we're going to do tomorrow. It's all consensual. So I appreciate that.
Was the warrant that was executed in CUNA in recent weeks related to Brandon Sherlin?
We did not have a warrant for any home in CUNA.
But was there a search related to his home?
Yes, there was.
There was a search in where? CUNA?
You said that you believe that in yet? Is that what you're
Appreciate that.
Was the warrant that was executed in CUNA in recent weeks related to Brandon Shirtliff?
We did not have a warrant for any home in CUNA.
Okay, so they just searched a home in CUNA within the last couple of weeks. I have not heard that. Have you guys heard that? But they said they didn't have a warrant, so it was obviously just a. It was just a voluntary, like the people consented to having their house searched. What's in CUNA? Well, that's interesting. Okay, I'll have to look into that. I'd not heard that.
But was there a search related
So,
to his home?
yes, there was.
You said that you believe that one of them is in North Dakota. You haven't located him yet. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Do you mind spelling their last names for us? I'm sorry.
Sure, I can.
No idea what that last
You
question
obviously
was.
have the Wanderer's last name, correct? Okay. Last of Shirtliff. That's what I'm saying. We did not have a warrant for any home in CUNA.
But was there a search related
So,
to his home?
yes, there was.
You said that you believe that one of them is in North Dakota. You haven't located him yet. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Do you mind spelling their last name?
Okay, all I could make out there was that said somebody was in North Dakota and something. I couldn't hear the rest, and then he said, "Yeah, that's what I'm saying." So he said CUNA with no warrant. So somebody gave permission. Yeah, I don't know where that is though. I don't know who Kuna or Kuna. I don't know what that is. And then, so I think that the next question was just confirming that these two people are wherever he said they were, and he was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm saying."
Sure, I can.
All right, let me go back
You
again
obviously
so you
have
guys
the
can hear
one-
the name.
Aside from just living with the Wanderers, do we know what the relationship with the Connect unions were? How are they connected with the Wanderers?
You know, I'm not, this is ongoing. I'm not going to get into the semantics and dynamics of the relationship there. Alex?
A lot of neighbors spoke to us about a scooter that you guys were looking for. Can you speak to anything about like you had found a scooter, if that was related, or if that's something that you were possibly looking for at the Lunchers residence at all?
You know, again, that's evidentiary in nature, and I'm not going to speak to that at this point. So.
You mentioned the other property that's going to be starting to be searched tomorrow. Are there warrants for any other properties besides that have been seen?
You know, not at this point, but, you know, through the course of this investigation, I believe that there are other locations that we will definitely be searching. So there is no warrant for the search that we're going to do tomorrow. It's all consensual. So I appreciate that.
Was the warrant that was executed in CUNA in recent weeks related to Brandon Shirtliff?
We did not have a warrant for any home in CUNA.
But was there a search related
So,
to his home?
yes, there was.
You said that you believe that one of them is in North Dakota. You haven't located him yet. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Do you mind spelling their last names for us? I'm sorry.
Sure, I can. You obviously have the Wanderer's last name, correct? Okay. Last of Shirtliff is Shurtliff. Last of Lucien is Lucienne. Okay, all right. Well, if we don't have any other questions, I'm going to conclude this press conference. Karen, one more.
One more. If neither of these individuals do come forward with information, could they face any charges related to tampering an investigation or anything like that?
You know, I would tell you that, I'm not going to discuss our investigative strategies at this point, but it is my belief that charges are forthcoming.
Just one last question. I know you're very proud of your team that's really done an amazing job so far. Can you talk more about that and about how they're doing?
You know,
It's got to be tough.
it is tough. You know, we've lived this case from the time that it began, and but I'm telling you, I've got a very strong, committed group of people here, and they come in here every day, and we're in this grind, and they are committed to finding Michael, and we're just not going to stop. Everybody should know that we are not going to stop until we uncover the truth in its entirety, I would say. So thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, so not burned. He just says buried with an accent, so it's buried. And then they are searching tomorrow with ground penetrating radar on the neighbor's house. They said that the ground penetrating radar at the Wandras had anomalies. That's interesting. And then they don't have these other two in custody. They're asking them to come forward. Totally worth, yeah, totally worth the rewatch. I know I got so much more out of it. I was so just dumbfounded on the first time around that I definitely needed it again, and I could actually pay more attention to the questions that were being asked. And then that whole Kuna, Idaho, I didn't even know there was a search there that had anything to do with Michael. So
What is
that was
guy's
totally
name
new.
on the top?
With the guy on the right,
On the top, yeah.
Adrian Lucien, Luccie. Shit, he spelled it, and I can't even spell it now. Lucien,
He looks
Adrian
very familiar.
Lucien. I'm sorry, but that guy looks like the same guy in that picture that I just showed you guys that is supposedly not him. I'm gonna go back and look at that picture again.
He looks familiar. I don't know why. It's like bugging me.
Well, they say he could be in California. Is that the one they said could be in California?
Like, it's really bugging me.
He's been. He's saying there's something to this, but I don't know. But if there was, then I mean, is there other? There's not other missing children right there, right? I mean, I like Huff. I've always liked Huff. You just get a good feeling about that he's in it. He's in it to win it. Yeah, there it is. Luccienne, Lucien. No, I guess it's not the same guy. It's a different dude. Okay, I'll get rid of him then. Wow. Well, so there's still more. There's still more. There are tons of missing children. I didn't mean that. I just meant like I don't know. It's just such a. People are probably gonna get mad at me, but I'm gonna be really honest here. Stacy and Sarah are not two people that I would entrust to follow any plan of any sort. I don't know. I just don't. I just don't. I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe. But he still won't say who the tip came from, which is weird too. All right. Well, Michelle didn't get her mic to work. I see. I do. I wish Summer had a sheriff like him. I've always got a good feeling about him, and I got a good feeling about the sheriff that was on Quentin's case. They just always gave me a good feeling, like I just knew that they were going to end up finding the truth. Michelle says, all their people are just like them. It makes sense. A bunch of disgusting individuals all residing together. I just cannot believe this guy did a freaking interview with a YouTuber. Does he not know that the police are looking for him?
Well, JLR gets It's some good ones sometimes.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, but for the guy himself, like, you'd think that he would be like, yeah, no, dude, I'm good. Like, I don't, like, I need to stay off the radar. You know what I mean? Like, how weird is that? The tip probably came from Stacy because he wants out of jail. What? So that's the thing. So according to Sarah, or according to the affidavit after serving the search warrant, that the cops say that Stacy, after a tip from Stacy, but then if Stacy, would Stacy say that he moved him? Do you know what I mean? Like, would he say, he would say that he's not there?
Maybe he didn't know that he had moved him.
That's what I'm wondering. Maybe he got, maybe they moved him after he went to jail.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, good thinking. Because they didn't want him giving it up.
Yeah, or they thought he might or something, you know? He's probably, he might be just as surprised as anybody else.
Oh yeah, he might be. He might be like, wait a minute, well, I don't know what they did then. Well, okay, well, I don't know. I guess we'll have to just wait and see what happens and pay attention to their search in the neighbor's yard tomorrow. They're searching the neighbor's yard tomorrow, and they said they don't have a search warrant. But they wouldn't need a search warrant. They're registered SOs if that's the backyard they're searching. Did they say which backyard they were searching?
No.
Because if it's the one behind.
I just don't know how these people just be waltzing into someone else's backyard. Like, hey, let me just bury some shit real quick. I would let my dog eat
You'd have
them
to look
so
and see if the
fast.
house was empty at the time. Maybe it was empty.
I mean, my dog would eat the people in those yards too. Like, nobody can be buried within, you know, my whole surrounding area and anybody that touches them.
I hate all the wait and see stuff, C-Dub. I absolutely hate it. I really was hoping for some answers today, one way or the other. And then I knew if we got answers, I was going to be sad either way. T, watch the interview. Someone is in the background putting a big board over him while he's in the jacuzzi. I heard bits and pieces of it. I haven't actually watched. I listened a little bit, and I don't know. I didn't finish it. Or late at night. Yeah. I don't think Stacy and I think they had a lot of homeless people live with them. Well, they definitely know something, and they're definitely involved somehow. Otherwise, unless one of these guys that's just their friend he does all this stuff, and they're like, hey, we're gonna need your help here to, bury this. I don't know. I don't know. See, according to the National Incident Studies of Missing Abducted Runaway Children, approximately 2,300 children go missing every day in the United States. Yes. Yes. The problem is that there's so many runaways, and this really should be a separated statistic, because it's not. It really is. They're separate. They're not the same.
Oh, that Adrian guy has a kid in Orange County.
No.
Mm-hmm. Says County of Orange, yeah. Orange County.
All right, then.
Frustrating.
Yep. All right, well, I guess we have no choice but to play the wait and see game. And yeah, creep it in I knew what you meant, steel ribbon. Creep it in the neighbor's backyard. I don't know. I just think that I'm wondering if the house was, if it's the neighbors that are the SOs, that's weird to me. I don't know how they would have gotten in, but the people behind them, I'm wondering how long they lived there. And maybe the house was empty. They never actually specify what neighbor, I don't think. So don't argue about it. It's okay. Abducting is a word that is hard to mix up with another word. Right. Yeah, you don't. No, he was abducted. Involved in the abducting. Yep. They're all involved. I agree. to me is intentional. It rules out everything he said rules out this whole like narrative that people were trying to think like possible or theorizing that possibly, you know, they'd hit him and then they hit it and so on and so forth. And no, they abducted him. They abducted him, and all of these people are firsthand witnesses to it. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and hop off. I'm gonna end this one. We will be back tomorrow night. I don't know what we're talking about though. Are we talking about the Idaho, or are we talking about Delphi? I don't know what we're talking about yet.
There's so many different things.
Yeah, and then there's the other little girl that with the dad. I don't know that I've been looking at that one. So, all right.
Oh, and the thing with Virginia. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many things. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many things. But I appreciate all of you guys for being here and spending the afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time it is with you guys, for you guys. And I know that and I tell you all the time, you have 1,000 other places that you could be, and you choose to be here with us. And I really appreciate that. Before you leave, if you wouldn't mind just, hitting the like button, it does help with the channel, especially because I haven't been able to go live as much as I would like to. So it definitely helps, keep the channel in the forefront, so that we can keep talking about all the wait and see things that we have to wait and see. Michelle, I hope your mic gets fixed. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I really, really do. I appreciate you guys all being here. I appreciate you guys watching with us. I appreciate all your feedback and your information that you guys provide. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Are you playing anything, Christine, or am I just ending?
I'll do it. All right.
Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.